Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Dominic stared at the acceptance letter in his mother's hand, the elegant script of St. Catherine's Academy gleaming under the kitchen light. His mother, Elaine, beamed with pride, her eyes sparkling as she read aloud the details of the prestigious institution known for its rigorous academics and nurturing environment. She had applied on his behalf, convinced it was the perfect place for her introverted son to thrive after a lackluster year at his previous school. Dominic nodded along, though he felt a twinge of unease about starting over in a new place. Little did either of them know, the Academy's brochure had been misleading in its online presentation, buried under layers of flowery language about empowerment and sisterhood. The orientation day arrived on a crisp autumn morning, the campus sprawling with ivy-covered buildings and manicured lawns. Dominic adjusted his button-up shirt as they pulled into the parking lot, surrounded by families unloading suitcases and chatting excitedly. Elaine led the way to the grand hall, where rows of seats faced a stage adorned with banners in navy and gold. As the headmistress began her welcome speech, emphasizing the Academy's commitment to young women, a murmur rippled through the crowd. Dominic glanced around, noticing for the first time that every other student was female, their uniforms neatly pressed, navy pleated skirts swaying as they shifted in their seats. Elaine's face paled as the realization hit her like a wave. She whispered urgently to Dominic, her voice trembling with embarrassment. The application had specified gender, but in her haste, she had overlooked it, assuming it was co-ed based on vague descriptions. Panic set in as the orientation progressed with tours of the dormitories and introductions to faculty. Elaine pulled Dominic aside in a quiet corridor, her hands wringing the program booklet. "We can withdraw right now," she said, her voice low. "This was my mistake. I should have double-checked." But Dominic, standing there amid the chatter of excited girls, felt an unexpected curiosity stirring within him. He had always been shy, struggling to fit in with the boisterous boys at his old school, where sports and roughhousing dominated. Here, the atmosphere felt different. Calm, focused, inviting. The idea of blending in, of trying something new, intrigued him more than it scared him. After a long pause, he met his mother's gaze. "What if I stayed? I could pretend, just to see." Elaine's eyes widened, but she didn't dismiss it outright. They discussed it in hushed tones, weighing the risks and the Academy's strict policies. The headmistress, upon being discreetly informed, was surprisingly accommodating, perhaps sensing an opportunity for inclusivity in a changing world. With a few administrative adjustments and a promise of confidentiality, Dominic agreed to enroll as Bella, a name he chose on the spot, inspired by a character from a book he loved. That afternoon, they shopped for the uniform, a navy pleated skirt that fell just above the knees, a crisp white blouse with a Peter Pan collar, and a red cardigan embroidered with the Academy's crest. Dominic, now Bella, slipped into the outfit in the store's fitting room, her brown hair falling softly around her shoulders as she adjusted the skirt's hem. The transformation felt strangely right, like stepping into a role she had been waiting to play. The first day of classes dawned with a mix of nerves and excitement. Bella arrived at the dormitory, her suitcase in hand, assigned to a room with 3 other girls. Sophia, a bubbly artist with a knack for sketching, Mia, a studious bookworm always buried in novels, and Lila, an athlete who excelled in track. They welcomed her warmly, assuming she was just another transfer student. "Love your hair," Sophia said, twirling a strand of her own curly locks. "That brown shade is so natural. Jealous." Bella smiled, tucking a lock behind her ear, feeling the weight of her new identity settle comfortably. The room was cozy, with bunk beds draped in pastel comforters and posters of inspirational quotes on the walls. As they unpacked, the girls shared stories of their summers, drawing Bella into the conversation effortlessly. For the first time, she felt seen, not as an outsider, but as one of them. Classes began promptly at 8, and Bella navigated the hallways in her uniform, the skirt swishing with each step. Mathematics came first, taught by Ms. Hargrove, a stern but fair instructor who challenged the students with complex equations. Bella, who had always been good with numbers, found herself raising her hand more often, her voice steady as she explained solutions on the board. The encouragement from her classmates, nods and smiles, boosted her confidence in ways she hadn't experienced before. Lunch in the cafeteria was a lively affair, with trays of salads, sandwiches, and fresh fruit. She sat with Sophia, Mia, and Lila, laughing over shared jokes about the cafeteria's mystery meat. "You're fitting in so well already," Mia said, passing her a cookie. "It's like you've always been here." Afternoons brought literature class, where they delved into classic novels, analyzing themes of identity and self-discovery. Bella contributed thoughtfully, her insights drawing praise from the teacher. Socially, she blossomed, joining study groups and weekend walks around the campus lake. One evening, as the sun set in hues of orange, she and Lila strolled along the path, discussing dreams for the future. "I want to run marathons," Lila confided. "What about you?" Bella paused, her brown hair catching the breeze. "I'm still figuring it out, but being here, it's helping." The friendships deepened, built on trust and shared experiences, making the academy feel like home. Home economics class became Bella's favorite, held in a bright room filled with sewing machines, ovens, and bolts of fabric. Mrs. Ellis, the enthusiastic teacher, guided them through practical skills, from baking to garment making. Bella's hands, once clumsy with tools, now threaded needles with ease. She learned to measure patterns, cut fabric, and stitch seams, her focus sharpening with each project. The class fostered a sense of creativity and independence, and Bella thrived, her brown hair tied back in a simple ponytail as she worked. One assignment involved designing sleepwear, and Bella chose pink satin for its soft sheen, envisioning pajamas perfect for comfort. She sketched the design, a loose top with matching pants, then selected the fabric from the supply closet, its smooth texture gliding under her fingers. Weeks turned into months, and the annual slumber party approached, a cherished tradition where the entire school gathered in the gymnasium for games, movies, and bonding. Bella dedicated evenings to her sewing project, the hum of the machine a soothing rhythm in the home economics room after hours. She hemmed the edges carefully, adding delicate lace trim for a touch of elegance. Her roommates peeked in, offering encouragement. "Those are going to be amazing," Sophia said, admiring the progress. By the time the pajamas were complete, Bella slipped them on in the privacy of her room, the pink satin cool against her skin, pairing perfectly with her uniform during the day but transforming her for the night event. The slumber party was a whirlwind of laughter with pillow fights, storytelling, and midnight snacks. Bella, in her handmade pajamas, joined in fully, her brown hair tousled from the fun, feeling utterly at ease among her friends. Academically, Bella's grades soared. In science class, she led a group project on environmental conservation, presenting with poise that impressed her peers. Socially, she organized a book club with Mia, where they discussed everything from poetry to fantasy novels, deepening their bond. Even in physical education, clad in the academy's gym uniform, a variation of the skirt with shorts underneath, she participated in yoga and dance, her movements graceful and assured. The red cardigan became a staple, a symbol of her integration, often draped over her shoulders during cooler evenings. As the semester progressed, subtle changes emerged. Bella's mannerisms softened, her voice carrying a gentle lilt from imitating her classmates. She experimented with accessories, adding a simple necklace or hair clips that complemented her brown hair. Friendships extended beyond the dorm. She tutored younger students in math, earning their admiration. One rainy afternoon, she and Sophia huddled in the library, working on art projects. "You've changed since you got here," Sophia observed. "In a good way. More confident." Bella nodded, realizing how true it was. The academy had unlocked parts of her she hadn't known existed. The slumber party marked a turning point. Amid the games and shared secrets, Bella confided in her roommates about her love for sewing, and they surprised her with a group hug. "You're one of us," Lila whispered. That night, as they lay in sleeping bags under the gym's twinkling lights, Bella reflected on her journey, the navy skirt and white blouse now feeling like second skin. By mid-semester, Bella's embrace of her identity deepened. She volunteered for the school play, taking a supporting role that required poise and expression. Rehearsals were intense, but rewarding, with her brown hair styled in soft waves for the performance. The applause at the end filled her with joy, solidifying her place. In home economics, she advanced to more complex projects like altering dresses, her skills impressing Mrs. Ellis. "You have a natural talent," the teacher said, encouraging her to consider fashion design. Social events multiplied. Tea parties in the garden, where they sipped herbal blends and discussed current events. Charity drives, where Bella organized collections for local shelters. Her friendships with Sophia, Mia, and Lila grew unbreakable, sharing late-night talks about aspirations and fears. "I feel like I can be myself here," Bella admitted one evening, her voice soft. They nodded, unaware of the full story, but sensing her authenticity. As finals approached, Bella's academic excellence shone. She aced exams in history and biology, her essays praised for depth. The red cardigan, now a comfort item, accompanied her through study sessions. One weekend, her parents visited, and over lunch in the campus cafe, Bella shared her experiences, her brown hair framing a face alight with happiness. Elaine noticed the change, her eyes misty. "You seem so alive," she said. The semester's end brought reflection. Bella sat by the lake, watching ducks glide across the water, her skirt tucked neatly beneath her. The journey from Dominic to Bella had been transformative, not just in appearance, but in spirit. She had excelled, formed bonds, and discovered passions. That evening, she approached her parents in their hotel room, her heart pounding. "I want to stay," she said firmly. "As Bella. This is who I am now, my true self. Please, let me continue permanently." Elaine and her husband exchanged glances, surprise mingling with understanding. They had seen the shift, the joy in her eyes. After a long discussion, they agreed, promising support. But as Bella returned to campus, a mysterious letter arrived in her dorm mailbox, unsigned and cryptic, hinting at someone who knew her secret. Her hands trembled as she read it, wondering if her carefully built world was about to unravel. The next morning, Bella woke early, slipping into her uniform with determination. The navy pleated skirt felt like armor now, the white blouse crisp against her skin, the red cardigan a shield. She met her friends for breakfast, their chatter a comforting buzz, but the letter weighed on her mind. During literature class, she analyzed a poem about hidden truths, her thoughts drifting to the anonymous note. Who could it be? A jealous classmate? An overlooked detail from orientation? She pushed the worry aside, focusing on the discussion, her voice steady as she contributed. After class, Bella headed to the home economics room, where Mrs. Ellis had assigned a new project. Designing accessories. She chose to make a scarf from leftover pink satin, her fingers deft on the fabric. As she sewed, Sophia joined her, sketching designs nearby. "Everything okay? You seem distracted," Sophia asked. Bella hesitated, then shared a vague version of her unease, careful not to reveal too much. "Just some family stuff," she said. Sophia squeezed her hand, offering silent support. Lunch brought more distractions. Mia shared news of an upcoming field trip to a local museum, excitement bubbling in her voice. Bella signed up, eager for the outing, her brown hair tied back as they planned outfits. The afternoon brought science lab, where they experimented with chemical reactions, Bella's precision-earning nods from the teacher. Yet, the letter lingered, a shadow in her thoughts. Evening fell, and Bella joined a study group in the library, the red cardigan draped over her chair. Lila quizzed her on history dates, their laughter echoing softly. As the group dispersed, Bella lingered, pulling out the letter again. The words were simple. "I know who you really are. Meet me at the old oak tree tomorrow at dusk." Her pulse quickened. She couldn't ignore it. The following day dawned gray, matching Bella's mood. She attended classes mechanically, her mind racing. In math, she solved problems flawlessly, but her focus wavered. During break, she confided in Mia, who suggested it might be a prank. "Don't go alone," Mia advised. Bella nodded, but curiosity won out. As dusk approached, Bella walked to the old oak on the campus edge, her skirt brushing against fallen leaves, brown hair swaying in the wind. The tree loomed large, its branches twisting like secrets. She waited, heart thumping, when a figure emerged from the shadows. A girl from another dorm, Emily, whom Bella had tutored once. "I figured it out," Emily said softly. "From orientation. But I won't tell. I admire you. It takes courage." Relief washed over Bella, but Emily's next words added a twist. "There's more. The headmistress knows too, and she's planning something big for the school. Inclusions like yours could change everything." Bella's eyes widened, questions forming. What did it mean? As they talked under the gathering stars, Bella realized her journey was far from over, new challenges on the horizon. Back in her dorm, Bella changed into her pink satin pajamas, the fabric a soothing reminder of her growth. Her roommates noticed her pensiveness, drawing her into a game of cards to lift her spirits. Laughter filled the room, strengthening their bond. Yet, as she lay in bed, the conversation with Emily replayed, hinting at broader changes at the academy. The week unfolded with routine laced with anticipation. Bella excelled in a debate club meeting, arguing for gender equality, her passion evident. In home economics, she completed the scarf, gifting it to Sophia, who wore it proudly. Socially, she organized a picnic by the lake, sharing stories and dreams with her friends. Parents' weekend arrived, and Bella's family returned, noticing her continued poise. Over dinner, she updated them on her classes, her brown hair shining under the lights. Elaine pulled her aside. "We're proud of you, but is everything all right?" Bella mentioned the letter vaguely, and her mother promised to look into it. As the weekend ended, a school assembly was called. The headmistress announced a new initiative for diversity, inspired by students like Bella. Whispers spread, and Bella felt eyes on her. Emily's words echoed. Change was coming, but what form would it take? Bella threw herself into preparations for the winter formal, sewing alterations to dresses for her friends. The home economics room became a hub of activity, needles flying and fabrics rustling. Her own gown, in soft blue to match the uniform's navy, accentuated her figure gracefully. The formal night was magical, with lights strung across the hall and music filling the air. Bella danced with her friends, her skirt twirling, brown hair cascading. Amid the joy, the headmistress approached. "Bella, we need to talk. There's an opportunity for you to lead this change." Excitement and nerves mingled as Bella followed her to a quiet office. The discussion revealed plans for scholarships and programs supporting diverse identities. "Your story could inspire many," the headmistress said. Bella agreed, but as she left, another anonymous note slipped under her door that night. "Not everyone is happy with the changes. Watch your back." The threat loomed, casting a shadow over her triumphs. Who opposed her? As Bella pondered in her pink satin pajamas, her roommates asleep around her, she knew she had to uncover the truth to protect her new life. Investigations began subtly. Bella confided in Lila, who suggested checking campus rumors. During track practice, Lila overheard whispers from a group of traditionalist students unhappy with the shifts. Bella's heart sank. Could they be behind it? In literature class, they studied tales of intrigue, mirroring her situation. She analyzed plots with keen insight, drawing parallels to her own mystery. After class, she confronted Emily, who denied involvement but promised to help. The days blurred into a mix of academics and sleuthing. Bella aced a history exam, her essay on societal evolution earning top marks. Socially, she strengthened ties by hosting a baking session in home economics, teaching her friends to make cookies. One evening, while sewing in the quiet room, a noise startled her. She found a torn page from a notebook, hinting at a meeting of dissenters. Following the clue, she snuck to the location, her red cardigan pulled tight against the chill. Hiding behind bushes, Bella overheard the group discussing ways to expose imposters. Her name was mentioned, sending chills down her spine. She retreated, mind racing with plans to counter them. Back in the dorm, she rallied her friends, sharing the full story for the first time. Their support was unwavering. "We're with you," Sophia said. Together, they devised a strategy to present evidence to the headmistress. The confrontation came during a school council meeting. Bella, in her uniform, stood tall, brown hair neatly brushed, and spoke eloquently about acceptance. The dissenters were addressed, their grievances heard, but their actions condemned. Resolution seemed near, but as the meeting ended, a final note arrived. "This isn't over. Secrets have a way of coming out." Bella clutched it, realizing the battle for her identity was just beginning, with allies by her side but unknown threats lurking. Weeks later, as spring hinted at arrival, Bella continued to thrive. She led a workshop in home economics on sustainable fashion, her pink satin pajamas inspiring a line of eco-friendly sleepwear. Academically, she mentored new students, her confidence inspiring them. Socially, her circle expanded, including Emily now as a close friend. They planned events promoting inclusivity, like panel discussions on identity. Yet the notes persisted, each more cryptic. Bella investigated further, discovering a connection to a former teacher unhappy with the academy's direction. Confronting the past became key. In a tense meeting, Bella faced the ex-teacher, who admitted to the harassment, driven by outdated views. Forgiveness came hard, but Bella chose growth, advocating for dialogue. Peace settled, but as graduation neared, a new opportunity arose: a scholarship to a university program in design, building on her sewing skills. Excited, Bella prepared, her brown hair tied in a ribbon, ready for the next chapter. But on the eve of departure, a phone call from an unknown number whispered, "Your secret is safe. For now. But remember, not all doors stay closed." The line went dead, leaving Bella staring into the night, wondering what shadows still followed her true self. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.